Welcome to the Nightly Nuge.
Welcome back to another edition of the Nightly Nuge. Welcome back, Ted.
I feel welcome. God bless you, Keith. It's good to share these truth, logic, and common sense spirit campfires with you. Greetings from the Nugent family as we continue to celebrate Thanksgiving, Independence Day, Veterans Day, Christmas, and my birthday every day. I'm having a great hunting season, so I hope you can handle all the positive energy and spirit that I'm about to share with my fellow man.
Well, I saw a little ruckus brewing. I saw a former speechwriter for George Bush kind of bashing Donald Trump Jr. Because of Donald Trump Jr.'s stance on wokeism and cancel culture. Of course, Don Jr. was opposed to it and said, I think his quote was something along the lines of that Republicans and conservatives have been playing T-ball while for the last half a century, the Democrats are playing hardball and cheating at it. What's your take?
Well, my take is one of pursuing omniscience and omnipotence and awareness. And I would like to just make sure I remind everybody that George W. Bush and the entire Bush gang are the deep state. They manifest wokeism. They genuflect at the altar of denial. Donald Trump Jr., on the other hand, is a truth, logic, and common sense constitutional Bill of Rights, 10 Commandment, Golden Rule, Declaration of Independence, be the best that you can be, law and order American, which is why there's a division, because Donald Trump Jr. and the Nugent family and the Mark family and all my friends, neighbors, all my hunting buddies, fishing buddies, all my Second Amendment and First Amendment ralliers across America, we stand with Donald Trump Jr. and Donald Trump Sr. and good families who genuflect at the altar of the American dream, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. George W. Bush and his speechwriter were scam artists. They aren't to be trusted. They represent a deep state of criminal abuse of power. So God bless John Jr. and not so much anybody associated with the Bushes.
You know, it seems to me, Ted, that you were almost the first victim of this woke culture. You know, you stood up for the Second Amendment. You were pro-hunting. You were controversial back in the day. I mean, so you've been dealing with this for a long time personally.
Yeah, I really have, you know, and it didn't bother me on a personal level because I know I'm right. I know that God made a miraculous pantry of renewability and that the proper, righteous, intelligent, and spiritual and responsible connection to the good Mother Earth that God has provided for us for quality of life, food, clothing, shelter, medicine, tools, most importantly, spirit. And as a hunter, fisherman, and trapper, when I ran into the dopers, I mean, literally everybody who attacked me was stoned. In every radio interview, they were like drooling and little puddles of spittle forming in the corner of their mouths. Now, that might sound graphic and outrageous because it's graphic and outrageously true. So when they would attack me for eating venison, I would try to remind them, and believe me, Keith, the audiences were with Uncle Ted. They were against the doper who were attacking wildlife management and referencing living, breathing flesh and blood creatures as cartoon characters. They tried to make an argument based on Bambi. They literally would reference Bambi. So I had quite a good time trouncing their denial, their ignorance, their disrespect for nature. And they would literally cancel my tours. They would not play my music on the radio. They would attack me and claim that I was a coward for murdering innocent animals. I mean, just all the predictable rhetoric from haters and ignorant people who wallow in their ignorance and safeguard their ignorance against an understanding of God's miraculous creation, while the hunters, fishermen, and trappers of the world celebrated it hands-on with genuine respect and reverence. So they I can't tell you how many contracts and how many sponsorships and how many endorsements that I lost because I stood up for self-defense, which is perfect. I stood up for the Second Amendment, which is perfect. I stood up for hunting, fishing, and trapping, which happened to be perfect. And the people that would attack me literally attacked perfection. So you may notice I'm somewhat confident in my stand because I don't spectate wildlife. I participate in wildlife. And at 73 years clean and sober, my truth, logic, and common sense happens to be truth, logic, and commonly sensible. So I'm proud to have caused waves in what was becoming the culture war and the cancel culture. And to this day, as we enter 2022, I know I've always been right because my dad and Fred Bear, my uncles, and God taught me about resource stewardship and conservation, the wise, respectful use of his miraculous renewable creation and resources. So I'm right, the critics are wrong, and quite honestly, rather embarrassing.
Well, there you have it. You're up to speed again for today. And if you come back tomorrow, we'll have some more of the Nightly Nuge. Ted, have a good rest of your evening, buddy.
I promise.